Okay, great. And to start off, some of you all may be thinking that some of you all are older. You know, some of you all may have already graduated from college, may have been working in the profession. Some of you all may even be over 30. Some of you all may even be 40. I'm 58. So, and I'm still working. IT, I call IT the great equalizer. Before I've actually started doing Oracle, Bill may have told you I was washing cars. I had a mobile car wash, even though I had a degree. The reason why I was washing cars because I was making more money washing cars in Atlanta than I was working at the bank. So, you know, it didn't really matter. I was always trying to get my hustle on. I enjoyed washing cars, but someone decided to steal my mobile car wash from me a long time ago. So that's how I got into IT. Um, but at any rate, at Alabama State, some of y'all may have heard of a language called COBOL. I actually remember those little deck cards that you actually have to take and feed into a machine. So lets you know how long I've been involved in it. But the thing is that the way I learned IT was that in helping everybody and helping them work through their problems, it made me better. So throughout this class, some of you all may get together and some of you all may get it a little bit faster than others. What I challenge you all to do is to hold on for a minute. That's my daughter in the background. But anyway, what I challenge you all to do is to help each other. If someone has a problem, you will learn more in helping each other through their problems than you will in actually working on yours. It's easy to just enter something and hit it and it works the first time. I've learned more in Oracle by helping other people work through their problems than helping them than actually working through mine. So once again, like I said, my wife called me the consultant. So and Bill mentioned that I did start in 1996. So I graduated from college in 93, started off as a stockbroker, right? Just a little bit about me. Started off as a stockbroker for a while in Atlanta on Peachtree. Some of y'all may be familiar with it. Went from there to SunTrust, working in that mortgage-backed security department. And then after that, hold for 1 second. So I started off in the mortgage-backed security department, and there is where I actually discovered IT again. I actually had a system that was old. It was DBase 4 database, and we were working it, but it needed updating. I kept asking the IT department to update it, but the IT department didn't have the time. So I decided to go in the old bookstore, buy a book, and I started programming. I gotten so good at it that the program that I wrote actually won an award for SunTrust Banking. My manager went and did a presentation on it, and what they did was when she presented it, she actually brought everybody back to my desk and told me to demonstrate it. And they were so impressed with it. One of the people said, "Hey, can he come here and do this for us?" That's when it dawned on me that people will actually pay for you to do IT. Up until that point, I was just doing it just out of necessity. So, but anyway, I quit that, went into mobile car washing because I was making more. I was only making 24,000, but I was making 50,000 washing cars. So my brother and I was out in Atlanta washing cars, having a good time until someone stole the business. That's how I decided to go back into, and I think I've told you this before. I was looking at the Oracle. I'm at the Atlanta Journal Constitution and the classifieds. That's when I saw Oracle making 150,000 after 3 years, and accounting only making about 50 after 3 years, even with a CPA, which I didn't have. So that's how I got into Oracle. So from there, we go back. And once again, this is my resume. I have, how many pages is this? It's 4 pages. What I do is, when I started with Oracle, they sent me to Redwood Shores. Now, Redwood Shores is the headquarters of Oracle. And I was working there. I was fortunate enough to have a GPA of over 3.5. And they were only hiring people that had a GPA of 3.5 and above. So that's what got me in the door. I'm not going to go into it, but it took me a few months for them to actually hire me because I bugged them every day until they hired me. They flew me to Redwood Shores. And there, it was a 2 month or Yeah, about 2 months. And what they did was each week we would cover a module. So we sitting there and they would just basically, it's like a fire hose approach. Guy came in, he talked about it. We didn't really touch it. We just sat there all day in classes and we just looked at it and they told us about it. It was so much information, right? We never had it hands on. We never did anything. So after 2 months, they sent us out in the field. My first project was with Delta in Atlanta, right? And I was doing financial analyzer. They had just acquired this company. Also, and back then you have about 40 or 50 people on the project, and you can imagine Delta Airlines was huge. I think that project had about 100 people on it. My job was basically, they said, okay, Green, you're gonna do financial analyzer. Financial analyzer fell through, and so I, in order to stay busy, switched over to accounts payable to try to help, right? And so what I did then at that point was basically just whatever needed to be done. So that's Delta. Started off in 1996. Then I went to a company called Alcoa in Pittsburgh. Alcoa is very big. It's an aluminum company. And once again, Release 10.7. Release 10.7 is one of the older models. It's called Smart Climb. I did supply chain implementation, and I'm not going to go all the way through it. But as you see, one project is like from August to 1997, February to April, Oracle inventory. And then from there, I worked Oracle from 1996 to 1997. The last project was CSX Transportation in Jacksonville, Florida. Great project. I loved it. But I left there and I started with another company called the Visionary Group. They hired me. Now, I'm going to tell you what the beauty of it is. I was working for Oracle Corporation. They were paying me approximately back in 1996, $48,000. I left there, went to the Visionary Group, and they offered me $96,000. So my pay doubled. So, of course, I took that job. I worked with them for about 1, 2, 3, 4 projects. You see, I've done AP, GL, inventory, purchasing, accounts receivable, accounts payable. Of course, I was functional on this one. And here I was functional and technical. Here I was functional. And you see here, functional and technical. That's the reason why I'm going to teach you all functional and technical. A lot of you go out online, a lot of them would teach you just functional, and that's just the front end. I'm going to teach you the back end. Now, for implementation purposes, you can be fully technical, and all you do is just write code, right? Also, you can be functional, and all you can do is just do it through the front end. I'm not going to have you all. What I want to do is give you a broad understanding of functional and technical. I'm not going to get very technical, and I'm functional. I'm going to get functional, but I'm not going to look at all the functionality because each client uses something different, but you will get a total and complete understanding of the application itself, right? So once again, this is 1998, and from here, I switched over to Ray Consulting. I was making 95,000 here, I think, and I went to Ray, and they was paying me like 160, 175. So as you see, I went from 40 in 1997. I went from 48,000 to 90,000, 1999, till less than 3 years later, I was making about 170,000. So I went from 1996 to 1999 with Ray. Now, here's the thing. When I first started with them, I was not an employee. What is the Visionary Group? This is up in Dallas. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, this is Ray. So about 2 to 3 years later, I'm at 175 already, which is what I wanted to be. My objective was that after 3 years, I wanted to be making about 150,000. And here's where I was. When I first took this project here as a functional lead, I came in 3 years later, I was making $100 an hour. So keep in mind, back in 1996, I started off, I was washing cars in, say, February 1996. And in March of 1999, 3 years later, I was making $100 an hour. So that's when I first moved out to California. But then eventually, this company got acquired. They talked me into taking some stock options. Back in the day before the crash in 2000, everybody was getting stock options. So I couldn't pass that up. I think they gave me like 10,000 stock options. So I took that job as an employee, right? I think it was here with Rogers and Aircraft, right? So I took that as an employee. But I started off here at $100 an hour. I think they had me like 175 up here, which was good, plus stock options. And I was living in Irvine, California. Great place. And then here, let me go all the way up to the top. So in 2000, after the crash, my stock options didn't amount to anything. So in 2000, I started my own company, and that's where we are now. So for about 21 years, I've been working William Delaney Consulting. I'm based out of Montgomery, Alabama. I can give you all a copy of my resume so you all can go in and look at some of the detailed things that I've done. But if you look at it, you'll see, I've been a project manager. I've done functional and technical. I have a friend of mine. He's 100% functional. He makes 150, 175, 185 an hour. Been doing it for years. So you don't have to be technical, right? Some of you all may want to just be technical with Bill's teaching, and what he's teaching you all may be more comfortable with just being technical. But some of you all may already be working in accounts payable somewhere in your job, and so you all may be comfortable now because you all may already be closing books now. So you may be functional, but I want to make sure. Let me tell you about one project I had. This is Motorola. This is a great one. I had one project where I was working in the Caymans, right here. I was working on the Cayman Islands, right? And so I was doing inventory and purchasing, right? I was doing it with the Cayman Islands government. I had a problem or run-in with some of the guys on the project. And, well, one actually, his name was, I won't call his name. But at any rate, I had a run-in. So in order to make sure that my project, my deliverables were on time, I had to do everything. We had a meeting, and we were meeting with the technical people. We were going over all of the conversion and interface requirements on all our modules. We got to inventory and purchasing, and they said, okay, the meeting's over with, right? I said, well, what about inventory and purchasing? Oh, we're not going to convert yours. We're not going to do yours. What they were trying to do was sabotage me to make sure that I didn't meet my deliverables. So what I simply told them was, I said, okay. At that point, they didn't know that I already knew how to do it. I never told them what I could do. So at any rate, I ended up, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the whole story. I ended up writing my own code, converting everything, writing my own interfaces, and they actually thought I was behind. So they called the people in the States to come look at me because they thought I was behind. But when they came, I actually showed them where I was and how well things were going. It turned out that the people that were trying to get rid of me, the guys came there from the States, the headquarters, looked at their information and found out that they were behind, that they were incompetent, and they were the ones that actually got fired that day, not me. So and also that's just a story of why I've always been technical and functional. But on some projects, you may be behind, and you're going to find that the technical people are always overloaded. They always have a lot of things they need to convert. They always got a lot of interfaces. They always have a lot of work. So what I did was, I've always, if they would allow me, I like to take full control of all of my deliverables. I don't want to wait on them to convert, say, the assets or convert the vendors. Because if you do, what happens is you end up being behind, and you can't deliver what you need to deliver. So if they allow you to, then I always like to write my own code. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to show you, I'm going to go through maybe one data conversion, just from start to finish in terms of extracting the data from the vision, maybe putting the code in a flat file, doing a SQL loader, loading it into the interface table, and then loading it into the system. You all need to at least understand that. So that when you start dealing, and you're on a project and you're dealing with interfaces, you'll understand how it's done. Whether you write it or not, you will be familiar with it. You will understand what's all involved, and you can hold that conversation and you can speak intelligently about it, right? Because you don't want to make sure that the first time you see something is when you're on a project. Even if you're not going to write the code, you're going to sit in on a lot of requirements gathering meetings, and they're going to be talking about interface and conversions. You want to make sure that you understand that, you understand what's involved, and you can speak to it. And when they talk about it, you won't be behind, and you won't just seem like a fish out of water. The one thing you don't want to do on the client side is to let them know that you don't know something. Even if you don't know it, you need to at least tell them, say, hey, okay, let's table that to to tomorrow. And then what you need to do is, I'm gonna tell you a lot of things too. You see what I've done here. Let me go all the way back. A lot of the times when I first started, like I didn't know accounts pay. I've seen it, but I didn't know accounts payable or didn't know purchasing. So each night I would study. I would go in and you stay up late. So your first few projects, you're going to be staying up late. You're going to be studying, and you're going to need to put in work. Just like in this what we're doing now, you're going to need to put in work, because I'm going to say, okay, go in and set up general ledger. You may have seen me do it. I may even have some files, and we're going to have it being recorded. But at the same time, you're going to actually be doing it for the first time. You're going to need to go look at the help. You're going to need to Google some things, talk to me or Bill or some of your friends, and you're going to have to put in. But that's why I'm going to do it on a Tuesday. Then hopefully you do the work on Wednesday. Then when you come back on Thursday, we can talk about it. And then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to actually get it in. You're going to have your own instance. That's what you're going to have. All right. So at any rate, the point is, I didn't know all of this a lot of times when I was on the client site. Right. Hold on. Let me tell you. Let's see. Was it Bats? I'm going to tell you a story, either not tonight or when I was on. Was it Jams in Dispute? Can't think of it right now. But at any rate, the point is, going back to the Cayman Islands, and the reason why I recognize the value. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. When I first started my project, I met this nice young lady. She took me under her wing. She was a black lady. She was very good. She was very smart. And I was running around trying to be helpful on the project. And she said, okay, come on, you can help me. She showed me a lot. She was functional and technical. And because she was functional and technical and can log in, do everything on the front end, then she can write a query on the back end. I mean, that's when I realized the value. I said to myself, I want to be like her, and so I got exposed to being functional and technical, right? There are a lot of people, like I work with a lot of Indian people. They are 100% technical. They don't even understand the functional side. And you got some people that are going to be 100% functional. But I'm gonna get you exposed to the functional and the technical. Whether you write another line of code or not, when you get on your job, doesn't matter. At least you will understand it when people start speaking to it. So that way, when you functioning as a business analyst on a project and you have to analyze business requirements, you can speak to the technical people to make sure that you can get your your requirements met, and you can hold that conversation. So you need to be able to go smoothly between speaking to the financial people and then also speaking to the technical people, because you're going to be the go-between, and you're going to need to be able to interpret your functional requirements to the technical people, and then take the technical requirements and be able to speak to the functional. So at any rate, yeah, that's the Cayman Islands, and that's where my actual, I didn't know it then, that's where me being functional and technical helped me out a whole lot. So anyway, this is this, and like I said, I'll drop this somewhere so they can go and look at it, look at my resume. I'll send it to everybody anyway, so you can understand what I've done. Some of the things that you see here, like gathering business requirements, do individual interviews with department heads, and compile current state. I'm going to show you some of the future state and current state documents that I've done. We're not going to do those, but I'm going to show you what those are, those diagrams. I don't know if many of y'all are familiar with Visio, but Visio is going to be something that you all have done. And I may possibly, for one particular process, have you all map that process out so that you all understand it and use Visio, because you may have to. Now, right now, I haven't seen us do that, because a lot of these projects are fast forwards. Projects that used to take a year to 2 years, people are cutting those down to like 3 to 6 months now. So some of the things they cut out is those really nice diagrams that I'm going to probably be showing you all probably Thursday. I have some diagrams laid out so you can see what I'm talking about. So anyway, you see internet expenses, Western Digital, and you all may be familiar with some of these companies: Mid-American Energy, Sailor South over in Mississippi, Metro PCS. I really enjoyed that one. I did some really good stuff on Metro PCS. Vulcan Materials, Newfoundland, Labrador government. So I did some government work dealing with encumbrances. Mail Express, that was a project in Atlanta where I actually was the only Oracle consultant on there. We had a DBA and me. It was just two of us. And I thought it was overkill, but I did GL, AR, AP, payments, internet expenses, purchasing. I did internet procurement and cash management. I did all that by myself. And that's what you all are going to do. You all are going to implement all these modules and more, and you're going to do it by yourself. You know, I wrote custom reports. Now, I probably won't have you all install. I may have you all do some SQL reports. Yeah, that'd be pretty easy. Just do it in SQL. But you know, I wrote conversion programs, convert suppliers. So what I might do is go in and find this Mail Express program, take their conversion program to convert suppliers and open invoices and AR invoices. I may use those programs, change some of the dates, and have you all actually go in. Don't write the code. I'm not going to have you write the code. I'm going to give it to you, and we'll probably review the code, right? In terms, okay, here's the conversion program. As a matter of fact, you're going to see something here. Hold on. I got it set up. I got it linked to my other documents. 1 second. I should have already had this. Oh, here it is. Projects. Contracting. Oracle. Did I say Mail Express? All right. Let's see, technical. SQL. So here's a lot of the code. I wrote most of this. Let's see. Oh, so just an example. Hold on. Let me go here. Let's see here. See if this stuck on it. All right. I just need to find those. But anyway, I'll show you some of the sample code. So just to let you know, I was on this project. Let's see here. Mail Express. I was on this project and I did everything. I wrote the data conversion. I did the custom reports. I set everything up. I did all this. I talked to the client, gathered the requirements, document analyze, converge, set up the application, perform CRP. So I trained the users. I wrote custom reports, conversion programs, all of this, training users and document setups, perform post go live support. So it was just me doing all of this. This is what I'm going to equip you all to do. They can drop, if everything goes well, they should be able to drop you on a client site and you should be able to do all of this. Typically, you'll do one or two, but I want to make sure when they drop you on there, you can do all of this. And when it's all said and done, on your resume, and I'm going to write it up, you know, so you have this. Since your resume, now I can go in like this. I can probably, especially Mail Express, I can make it bigger, but it's 4 pages. People don't want a 30-page resume. So I just high level. But you can see just for Mail Express, this is everything that I did on that project. Custom reports, everything. So what I'm going to do is, and so I'm going to piggyback on a lot of this, like the vendor insert, vendor temp table insert, production. I'm going to piggyback on a lot. So I have a lot I can draw off of over the 26 years of me doing this. So let's see here. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's probably on. This is OneDrive. It's out here. I'll find it. So at any rate, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to show you this. You don't have to write the actual programs. I'm not going to have you write it. Let's see if I can find one. Let's see, Cayman Islands. I did a data conversion on this too. So as you can see, let's go here, PO. Let's go to technical. SQL. Like this is let's see here. This is a SQL loader file. Let's see here. Let's see if this one works. Yep. I got to go in. They probably not on this computer. But anyway, point is, I'm going to piggyback on all my 26 years of experience. I'm going to take some of these code that I've already written, that I've done in real life. I'm going to write them and I'm going to give them to you. And I'm going to say, okay, load this. Here's the file. And you all are going to go through it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to probably walk through the program. I'm going to talk you through it, tell you what's going on, tell you what it's doing, so you get an understanding of it. I don't expect you to write a data conversion program. I'm going to give you the data conversion program. You're going to run it, and then you can actually see it working. And that's what we want to get you to do. So I'm going to say, okay, here's the data file. Here's the data program. Here's how you load it. Here's where you put it. Here's how you see it run. So SQL Loader, I have you do SQL Loader. I have you run all that. Okay. Now, it's been a while since I've done SQL Loader, but I've done it. But I'm just going to have to go in and refresh my memory. So here's Remedy Street. I don't know if y'all heard with them. I worked with them for 6 years. And what I did with Remedy Street was basically remote support. I did GL, AP, AR, fixed assets, purchasing, cash management, internet expenses, high procurement. I did 10.7, 11i, R12, 12.2.4. I would actually write, let me show you. Speaking of which, I'm not going to have you all do this because, let's see, Oracle. Let's see here, support. I think I may have, let's see if I can find one. These are all the cases I work. Right, yeah. Hopefully this will work. Okay. I need to run my other computer. I don't know what's going on. At any rate, let me see something. Bear with me. All right, don't worry about it. I'll have it next time. So what I want to do is show you some of the serious things that I've written so that you'll be able to, when it's over with, I'll probably give you all an assignment to write some custom reports, maybe to do some data extraction, maybe insert something. I may spoon feed you one, and then the next one, I'll just tell you all to do it, and then you'll write the code because you need to do it yourself. I'll spoon feed you a couple, and then I'll tell you, okay, write this one yourself using the same format. Here's the data. And so I'll provide you the data extract. It will be up to you to write it and get it done. And so we'll cover that. So that way, when you go to a client and when you speak to it and when you write this on your resume, you say, yeah, I've done data conversion. I don't want you to just run a script. At least do one. I may have you converting a lot of data, and out of 10 scripts, I may give you 9 or maybe 7 of them. I would expect you to write 3 or 1, at least 1 on your own from scratch. Here's a set of data. And what we might do is I have you extract them from your Vision instance, and then, or I'll create a sample table and then have you build that table. But the bottom line is I want you all to write it so that if you're on a client site and you're speaking to it, or if you're doing an interview and you say, well, yeah, I know how to do data conversions too. Because the reason why I want you all to do all these modules and I want you to do the functional and technical is because after it's over with, you're going to be interviewing for an entry-level job. I want you to be very impressive on your resume. So when you get the interview, you have this big, long explanation, general ledger, AP, AR, and you'd be able to talk about what you've done. Like, for example, here is all the modules I got. So when you start talking about, when you do your technical resume, you'll have build stuff up here, like, for example, languages. You have all the languages up here with what you've done for Oracle. It says SQL, PL SQL, SQL Plus, this, Oracle Express, that's old, VB, HTML, XML. We may even look at some XML files. XSFO is basically look at some of the stuff in Oracle that's in XML. You may speak to Unix, Windows, of course, RDBMS, DOS, and maybe Sun, right? Tools. You have SQL Developer on here, and some other tools. Oh, I'm gonna show you about Workflow Builder. No reports, no forms. Of course, Toad. I might have you all get a free copy of Toad because a lot of Oracle shops use Toad. So I may have you download a free copy of Toad and just connect to it and run some queries so you can put Toad on there too, right? AIM, we're not going to cover that. That's old. Nobody does that anymore. Same thing with this. This is his methodology. I know Bill uses a methodology, and so you can put that on there. But what I want you to do is I want you to have all of this here in your resume when you submit it, right? Oh, SLA, all of that. I'll show you what to put in here in terms of what the XML publisher, all of that. As well as we're going to treat this as a project. So when you go in, they say, well, what have you done? I've done an Oracle project. What have you done? I set up this, and this. Who did you do it for? You're going to have William Delaney Consulting here, right? And let's say it takes 6 months. You're going to have 6 months of experience, okay? And what you're going to talk about is, oh, this is what I've done. And so they say, well, what do you do with William Delaney? I'm going to say, this is what you've done. They're going to be able to go to William Delaney website, and they're going to see William Delaney. You can put me down as a reference, and I would say, yes, this is what they've done. They've implemented it from scratch. They did this, that, and other. I'll even talk it up. Say, what did they do? Yes, this person did this. I had them do that, this, that, and the other. So that's what this is going to go on your resume. That's the reason why, and you've actually done this. This is not a class that you took, right? Like, for example, when I put in here my degree, Bachelor's of Science, I didn't set up any set of books. I didn't audit anything. I didn't write any financial reports. I sat in a class, took a test, and got a grade. You're actually going to have hands-on and what you've done, and this is going to actually go on your resume. So if it takes 6 months, that's good. But at the end of it, you all going to have this on your resume. This is going to help you get a job. So when you look at it and say, how much experience do you have? I got 6 months experience or a year, whatever it takes. I got experience with Oracle. This is what I did it. I did it with William Delaney Consulting. They can go in. Let's see, hold on. They're going to go in and they're going to type in William Delaney Consulting. They're going to see, let's see. They're going to type it in. So it was William Delaney Consulting. What does he do? All right. And as soon as my website come up, I got a decent looking website. If you haven't seen it, it looks nice. I redid it about 2 years ago. It's a nice looking website. Talks about what we've done. So they'll understand, oh, well, this looks like a legitimate company. And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure everybody sees, oh, this is serious. And I do go after real business. I do a lot. So it's not a flyby company. And I know some of y'all may get frustrated, but here's what I want you to do. Look at it like this. I'm gonna give it to you in a way. I'm not gonna have you come in and say, okay, write a data conversion on the first day or run this query, run this. We're gonna take it a little bit by little bit. I like to look at it as a peel the onion type approach. That's how I've always done it. If you ever go into Oracle and you're going to be thrown in the fire like I've done, I can tell you, I've actually been walked off projects before. So, well, twice. In my 26 years, I think it's been once I got thrown off the project. Well, I never got thrown off. I've actually worked for KPMG, and KPMG, I lost that job because somebody ran a background check, and it was a William Green born on February 14, 1968, and he actually got a ticket and had a warrant for his arrest. And so I told him, I said, no, I'm William Green, born on February 14, 1960, whatever. It was a different year. But they say, well, it doesn't matter. You got a warrant. You got to get it straight. So I had the job, but yeah, KPMG do it, a very detailed background check. That was that one. Another one was, let's see, what was that project? It was a sewing machine company project, and I had just started working with Oracle. And let me go to my resume and see if that's on there. They had told them multi-org had just came out, and I'm gonna introduce you all to that multi-org concept. I think it was Genicom. Yeah, Genicom, a printing equipment manufacturer. It was in West Virginia somewhere. Keep in mind, I had only been working with less than a year. They sent me out there and told them that I was a multi-org expert, right? And I had never heard of multi-org before. But I was on the plane. That's when they told me. You see, I was on February, March. I was gone by April, right? Because they threw me out there, told them I was a multi-org expert. They actually flew their entire company. I remember people came in from the Netherlands. They were all over the world. So I'm in a big old room, and I'm thinking, I didn't even know I had to speak that day. I landed Monday, got in late. Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. I'm in a room with about 40, 50 people that have flown all over from the planet. I'm sitting there looking around. They said, okay, Green, go ahead. I said, go ahead and do what? They said, go in and explain to us how multi-org is going to help our company and how we're going to implement it. And I just heard multi-org on the plane, and I didn't even study. Nobody told me I was the keynote speaker for the world. So I went up there, and I went from completely dry to completely just drenched. It's like somebody threw me in a swimming pool, and I was dripping wet. And I went there and I got that white that marker, put it on a clean whiteboard, and I put it right there, and I literally froze. I froze for like a minute, maybe 2 minutes, didn't say a word. Everybody was looking for me. So I decided I'm just gonna make it up. That's when I say, well, you know what? I always know more than them. I'm just finna BS them. So I just started making something up, right? And then, the guy said, that's not what it says in the paper. I'm like, what paper? Somebody had given them a paper of multi-org, and they knew more than I did. And so what I did was, I just said, at that point, I just turned back around, and I froze. And I'll never forget, it was this Indian lady. She said, William, I'll take it. And I sat down, staring into space. After that, the guy, the head IT director for Genicom made a phone call, said, William don't know anything. He needs to leave immediately. That was like the second day. I managed to survive till April, but he tried to fire me that day, saying I didn't know anything. And my manager, he apologized to me. He said, Green, I'm sorry, man. I know we put you in a bad spot. That was my fault. Yeah, but it didn't matter. The client thought I was the dumbest person he ever met. So it happens, on a project. First impressions, I call them low-hanging fruits. When you get on a project, and I'll tell you this later because I talk a lot. When you get on a project, first thing you want to do, first day, 2 or 3 days, you want to impress the client. So look for those little small things, because usually when you get there, they're going to probably have a problem or something they don't know how to do. Man, how are we going to set up these organizations? You like, oh, I know that one. Right? So what you want to do in a meeting in front of everybody, like, oh yeah, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do blah, 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 blah. Then everybody go, okay, he knows what he's talking about. We're going to keep him. So yeah, you always look for low-hanging fruits. You try to solve some stuff in the first 2 days. And then if you go look at my resume, you'll see all the stuff that I've done. Like I probably went there and they said, okay, Green, you're going to do PO. But what I did was they needed accounts receivable and accounts payable. So what I do is I always go in and try to involve myself in every aspect. The more that you involved in, the more that you got your fingers in. If you're doing the data conversions, you writing the interfaces, you're doing the custom reports, you're doing 3 modules, oh, you the man. They can't fire you if they wanted to, right? And on top of that too, they love you because you vital to the success of the project. Always make yourself a value. Like here, Rogerson Aircraft. You see, I did all this, right? Great job in Irvine, California. I love California, by the way. So, and this is another one. This is when I started. Let's see, as a matter of fact, was it LPL, Vicam, In Dispute? No, I think it was. Let's see. I'm trying to see the first project where I did everything. Could have been Rogerson Aircraft. Is it FA? No, I think it was. All right, yeah, I can tell you about this one. The first time I did FA, right? So the first time I did FA, and I was the project manager. I was supposed to be the project manager. I hired this Indian guy, right? And if you know anything about Indians and their culture, they'll get married because they have an arranged marriage. So I interviewed this guy, talked to him. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm good at this." And I was supposed to just be the project manager. So I hired this guy. I interviewed him and I hired him, which is my fault. He did something for like 2 weeks and told me, "Hey, Green, I got to go get married." I said, "Okay, when you gonna be back?" He said 6 months. Right. So I couldn't go tell Jams in Dispute that the project is going to be delayed because I hired an Indian guy who's leaving and going to be gone for 6 months. So I remember going to get a big, I said, "Okay, man, send me the code that you already got." You know what he had? A select statement. Nothing else. I was so mad at him. So I had to go in, set up GLAP, fix assets, and I actually had to write the scripts to convert the assets. I did all that. It's the first time I had actually seen fixed assets. Never did it before, but back then they didn't have. I had to write it to insert it to interface. Now they got something called Web ADI, which I did today, which is very easy. But the point is, you're gonna learn a lot on Oracle in being thrown right there. So what I'm gonna do is you're gonna have a broad overview of Oracle, and you will have implemented all the modules. So what I learned a long time ago, I'm gonna tell you another thing too, another story. I put all these modules in my resume, or GL, AP, I had purchasing, inventory, assets, and so I didn't have accounts receivable. So you know what I did? I said, well, I got everything but accounts receivable. Let me put accounts receivable in there. You know what happened the next freaking week? Dude was looking for somebody, said, "Green, you did accounts receivable, right?" I said, "No, I never did, but it's on your resume." Don't ever tell a lie. I learned that early, man. If you don't know something, just tell them you don't know it, because everybody know you don't know it anyway. But yeah, the first time I did accounts receivable was because I had it on my resume and I hadn't done it, and I'm on the client site, and now I got to do accounts receivable. So, but when it's all over with, you will be able to put all these modules, even HR, a little bit shared HR, sysadmin, web requisitions, procurement, all of this, you would put this on your resume and it would be the truth, and you would be able to speak to it. Even if you get through it and you're not as good at it as you want to be, you will be able to speak to this and let everybody, and you'll be telling the truth. You will not lie. And everybody gonna say, well, he only got 6 months, but he's done it. And if they want to call me up and say, hey, has he done this? You will be able to go in and you will be able to look at these jobs. Let me go here and look. Let's see here. You'll be able to go in and say, yeah, I did. By the way, this is a Visio diagram. I got plenty of those. And I'll show you this, but you'll be able to go to Indeed. There's a search that you do. I'm trying to see here. Let's see. Oh, let me see. Oh. You ain't gonna find any jobs in Montgomery, just letting you know that now. Let me see. That's one thing about Montgomery. Yeah. Oh, they got one. 3 jobs. Okay. That ain't bad. All right. So that's Montgomery. Let's get rid of that. Let's see here. Get rid of that. Let's see. I'm say entry level. Let's get rid of this. Close that. See if they post the job type. There used to be a way you can search. Let me see it. United States. I can't really find. Let's see how many we got here. How many jobs came up? All right, so entry level, 1,597 jobs. Let's just do this. Okay, so we got 1,597 jobs. Let's just say you want to do, let's say you just want to do contract, 53, right? 964 full-time, but let's just say you want to go contract, and that's just the day. So it's 53 jobs, right? FBR inventory is cloud, though, $100 an hour. Fusion, EBS, that's us. Got cloud, sales rep, hey, that's good money, right? It's a lot of cloud, EBS, technical, supply chain, cloud. Now, one thing we're not going to cover cloud at this point. Now, if I get access to a cloud instance, then we can do cloud. But let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see EBS. Let's see if that's in there. $112 entry level, senior level, mid level. You all might be able. Let's just say 112 mid entry level, right? Now, just say you want to do just contract. How many contracts? Only 5 contract, 93. Mostly, it's going to be hard to go contract right out the bat. Let's see what they got entry level contract. Reason being, contractors usually got to stand on their own. Fusion, EBS, technical consultant. Let's just see what they talk about here. So what you would do is, and I'll tell you about later on about how to find a job. Find a job is a full-time job. But look here, that's 60, 65. That's basically supposed to be per hour. Full-time contract, that's $60, $65 an hour, entry level, which ain't bad. It's real good. And they hiring 10 people. So it's good. You definitely want to PL SQL 1 year, SQL 1 year. You should be able to get it. That's preferred, but they'll take you. And this is good. And they're hiring 10 people. What this probably means is that they got a senior level people and they just need a lot of people banging code out, which is good. And you can start off remote, right? So with this COVID and all these variants, you probably never go in. I got 2 projects. I don't never go in. Now you got lead Oracle function EBS, consultant W2, $70 an hour. That's cloud 73. So, and that's Oracle ERP, cloud. So you got this here. Let's get rid of contract. So you're looking at still a lot of jobs. Let's see what they're talking about here. OmniPoint. I think I heard of them before. And they're looking for some people. Entry level, full-time contract. Let's see here. What they paying. Say $1 an hour, but they probably paying real good. Health insurance, Monday through Friday, fully remote. So you can work this from your house, right? Worked on Oracle R12 EBS Financials, functional design. That would be you. Implementation experience, accounts payable, understand the P2P, procure to pay, worked on fit gap analysis, solution and design, nice to have, OLFM, whatever that is. That's a nice to have. You don't need that. But you all going to have all of this. So you would apply. This will be on your resume. Then as soon as you send the resume, you need to call them up. And like I said, looking for a job is a full-time job. You got to be serious about it. I'll tell you how to do that later, how to get that job. Plus, I may go in here and say, hey, I got these people, and try to get you a job. And that's something Bill and I are going to talk about. Here's another one. Point I'm trying to make is, like, here's one, $60, $70 an hour. Oh, this is one I told you to hire 10 people. So point is, you're going to have the experience that you need, and it's going to be on your resume. So when you send this in, they're going to look at your resume. You're going to be able to hold a serious conversation with these people. And what you want to do is, like I said, entry level is what you want to look at. And they got several. Let's see. Hold on. How many did I find? Just EBS. That's just today. 112. Now, all total, you look at this, it's 1,776 jobs. So after you all have been in about 2-3 years, you go to Indeed, you're going to be seeing nearly 2,000 jobs. So finding the jobs is not going to be hard. But I'm telling you, in terms of trying to get this entry level, what we're going to do is, in terms of what I'm going to show you, what you're going to be able to do. Let's see, hold on. Here it is. The course outline, go to William Delaney, click on Oracle training. I'm not going to go through this. Go in and look at all the detail. It is an extensive course. And after it's over with, you will be able to go in and you're going to put this on your resume. And one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to lie for anybody, right? So if you go through this course and you complete it, even if you mess up, don't worry about that. But you go through it, you completed it, and you've done it, right? And you may have struggled a whole while, but you completed it and you understand it to the point, because when you get on the project, they will expect you. If you tell them you set it up, they're going to tell you, even though it may be the second time. Just don't worry about it. Gather the requirements. You're going to have your own instance. You can go back in and look at it, and you should be okay. Just take your time, relax, and call me like every other consultant. Call me anyway. Ask me some questions. I'll help you out. I say, okay, do this, do that, or here's how you find an answer to that. And pretty soon you won't even call me anymore. I'll probably be calling y'all up, saying, man, you have done this, right? So this is what I'm telling you, and I'm thinking from the standpoint of what will you all need to get a job. Now, I'll show you all how much money. I'm going to show you. Now, I told you I work for myself. So what I do is I bill direct. Well, I got a go-between. I don't go directly to the client. Just show you what I'm billing right now. So y'all be like, man, he just talking. Oh, shucks. Hold on for a minute. All right. One second. We've been at this for an hour now. Time is flying. And after it's over with, we'll talk about next step. Let's see here. 379-582. So I'm working right now. I'm working with 2 clients. What I do is I invoice them directly. So 2 days ago, I just got 13,000 plus 7 plus this. I got, what's that? 13 plus 20. So I got about $28,000, right? Just deposited in my account the other day. So I'm working 2 clients. I for some reason, I haven't been doing that all these years. I've always been doing 1. I think from now I'm going to be working. Now that clients are more conducive to people working working remotely, I think I'm always going to have 2 or 3 clients. Plus I'm doing some things with decisions. But at any rate, here's what I'm billing. I'm billing this. This is what I'm billing. You can do this. Of course, I've been doing it 26 years, but you can be doing this in about 2 to 3 years. All right, here it's just $80 an hour. Here it's right at $100 an hour. But that was only, you got to take out a day. So when you take out a day at $100 an hour, that's $800. So I'll be billing. That was right around $8,000 is what you bill. So this every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I get about $7,500 to $8,000, and so I get that twice a month. I get this twice a month. I get this once a month. So you add up this as 15 plus 20. That's about $30,000 a month. That doesn't include other things that I got going that's not in here through IT. Bill will tell you, and I know he's always told you that and $30,000 is okay. What I recommend that you all do in the long run, and see what I'm doing too is I'm also doing you go here. I'm also doing workflow automation, going after large government projects. Here, this is something else that I do. So I'm pretty spread out, pretty thin right now, but nevertheless, IT is great. Many of you all are getting on this journey for the first time. This is a good place to be. People need People need IT. There is so much so that they're bringing in a lot of H-1B visas. People, you really have to compete. You have to know what you need to know. I'm technical and functional because you need to be, because some projects I'll look and they say, okay, like one project I got where I'm doing fixed assets, the one I'm getting about $15,000 a month on, they actually, I'm just doing purely functional. I write code because I feel like it and it's easier, but I'm doing everything through the front end. This other one, I'm doing everything through the back end. I'm writing all kinds of scripts. I'm doing everything. Speaking of which, let's see here. Just going to show you right quick. Let's see here. But yeah, so you need to be able to, when you're going out there and you're looking for a job, you need to be able to make sure that you can apply for any job. Because you're looking for purely functional, then you're doing purely functional, and that's going to limit your roles. So you want to be able to go out there and look at everything for EBS, technical and functional, with the exception of DBA work, right? You might not be let's see here, show you some stuff that, let's see here, technical. So you'll be able to go in, let's see here, just going to show you some code, and it may look like Greek right now, but you all going to have an understanding of it. We'll speak to, man, what's going on? Yeah, that's weird. I think something might be wrong with my OneDrive. Try to fix this. But anyway, you all may be tasked with looking at some things, and you're going to need to be able to understand exactly what it's doing. Let's see. So what will happen is that you all will actually be able to look at it and understand it. Now, when I look at some of the code, and I wanted to show you on this particular project, I'm not going to worry about this. I have this trace next time. Next time I want to. And what I do Thursday is I'm going to walk through some of the code. I'm also going to have the application up. I'm going to walk through that, let you get a look at the application in terms of what it looks like. Not going to do that tonight. I need to run it on another computer. I'm on my laptop now. So I need to probably make sure I don't want to. I had it up before we started, but I ran into a couple of issues. So on Thursday, I'm going to have the app up. We're going to walk through it. I'm going to show you the two different environments. Also, by Thursday, just to speak to. Hold on a minute. Hold on, let me go get the door. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay. Thursday, what we're going to do is we're going to speak to. I'm going to actually show you the application, what it looks like. I'll probably run some queries. I have my code, so you can go in and look at some code, get you a high level understanding on what we're trying to do. And we'll walk through it, and you all get a better understanding of it. Now, Bill, I think what I could do is I could probably maybe start on some of the high level orientation. But what's going to need to happen is when you all receive your instance, we're going to make sure that you all are set up to make sure that everybody can open their instance. As I explained, and we're probably going to go over a lot of the stuff. Do we need to have anything downloaded by Thursday? No, you all shouldn't have to download anything. Everything that you get, let me look, show you chat. Everything that you get should already be on the actual device itself. Yeah, 2 terabyte. Well, we're going to send you all. Let's see. We hear you. Got a microphone, headphone. Let's see, but you still listening. Oh, yeah, I listed Jenna Come on the resume because I actually, what I put on the resume, I did it, right? And, something now, there may be a couple of things. I'm trying to think, are there any projects? I didn't put KPMG on my resume. Definitely didn't put them on my resume. How do we download Oracle? You don't need to download anything. We've already downloaded. You're going to receive a hard drive. And what Bill and I are doing right now, we're testing. Bill and I had a problem with his host files. So Bill's going to get a new laptop, actually a desktop. He found one at Microsecond for like, what, $250. So you can get a whole desktop for $250. I'm going to buy, right now I'm in the process of moving. But in about a month or so, when I get to the new house, I'm gonna buy 2 desktops for about they're 300. They're about 250. I'm gonna buy. They got let's see, about 16 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes on the hard drive, Intel processor, and so I'm buying 2 of them. And one of them I'm gonna just use strictly for the class with nothing else on it. And I don't want to have any issues or any, because I do a lot of stuff and so I'm just gonna have one dedicated just for that. But if you all want to go out and buy one computer, you can get them real cheap. Desktops are real cheap right now, just for this to make sure that you don't have any issues. I'll mail it to Bill. Bill should have all the addresses. Send a link to that desktop. But desktop. with Catherine McGee, what desktop? Oh, you mean the desktop I'm going to buy? Oh, okay. Bill,
Yeah,
you buying it from Microseconds, right?
Yeah, I went over there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I went over there today and bought it. I bought everything today. Come to find out the desktops were older. They were refurbished, so I had to go ahead and buy a whole one.
How much you pay for
it? $800. Anyway.
Man, you went over the top. We sent you there for $250 refurbished, and you ended up getting. I told you it's refurbished.
Hold on, man. When I get in there, they start telling me, well, you're gonna be running Oracle.
Yeah, they got it.
We are about I ran and it was messed up. But I'm rerunning. But I'm gonna rerun. You don't have to worry about installing anything.
Bill, you got feedback. You got feedback and echo on your line. Oh, let me mute my phone. Myself.
All right. So what I'm saying is, give us at least a week to get everything done from today. So everybody should have theirs by this time next week. I know that's not what you guys want to hear. You want to go ahead and get started, but just give it time, because the thing is, and I can kind of do a video inside the group. I'll go live inside the Facebook group. Arthur, could you make me the presenter for a second? Can you make me the presenter, Arthur? Arthur. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. All right, guys. So just one thing I want to show y'all right quick. When you come here, this is where you go every day, right? You come here. I want you to come here because this is the Facebook group. This is the Oracle Facebook group. Any files that William has to put up, he'll put them here. Any files, anything like that, anything that needs to be said, this is the Facebook group. Make sure you request this Facebook group. It's right here when you come in. It's the very first link in the portal. The second link, obviously, is the link to class. Tomorrow, all of the previously recorded classes from Oracle will be right here. Give it time. The video has to rip. As soon as we get finished recording tonight, the video will be ripped, and then you guys can come in and start watching everything that's been said. But just remember, guys, to request this Facebook group. All of this is older stuff. This is the SQL quiz, and then the self-study course, and this is the link to the older group, the other group I have. But right now, these are the main 3 you guys are going to be using. You're not going to have any labs per se. If you do it, everything will be done in class. It's not like mine where you'll have a separate thing where you'll have a lab. So that's about it. You can go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? All right. Let's see. All right. So in terms of what you have to install on your computer, you're not installing Oracle. What you're running is Oracle Virtual Machine. The virtual machine points to a drive, a USB drive that you all are going to have, which is, let's see, this. And it has, let me go back. This is what it's going to have on it, right? It's not going to have this, but this is what you're going to have. These are the virtual machines. These are not going to be installed on your hard drive. These are going to be installed on the US through your USB port. How big is this one? That's 306 gigs. This one is 305 gigs. Okay, so this is what's going to be installed. Also, we're going to have some tools that you're going to need. You're going to install these. Now these tools will actually be installed on your computer. Secret Developer, you can run this out of like you're only going to install one. This one right here, right? But this one. But this is just going to be in the directory, and then you click on the link. Like you go here, you can just put this in any directory, so it doesn't really install anything in your reg editor or anything like that. Let's see here. Click on it. You can take this right here, drag and drop this in your download or anything. I wouldn't recommend putting your download because you might delete it if you ever clean your hard drive up. But this is 400. Let's see. I don't know how many it is. Let's see here. And then all you got to do is click on that and it runs. Okay. So let's go. How big is this? Yeah, this is 400 megs, right? So it's not big. That's 400 megs. And this putty, these are real small putty. This is Notepad Plus if you don't have it. Definitely got that on there. WinSCP. So these are small apps. This is all you're going to install on your computer, and you're going to install this VirtualBox application, right? You see how small these are. This does not take up a lot of space on your computer. So even though you may be running Oracle, he's right. If you run an Oracle, you need all this smart, all that. You're going to need 4 gigs of RAM minimum, though. But at the same time, you don't want to be installing this directly on your computer, because once you get Oracle in, a lot of times it conflicts with Windows. This is actually running off Linux, in the Linux environment, Ubuntu to be exact. But you definitely don't want to definitely don't want to be running this on your laptop. It'll mess your laptop. So I remember back when I first started, I messed up a whole lot of laptops installing Oracle on it. They had to reformat it from scratch because nothing will work. Oracle will work if you're lucky to get it to work, but then your Windows stop working. And then as soon as you change some in Windows, it stops Oracle. Oracle's not friendly on desktops. If you don't have Oracle on something, nothing else can run on it. You can run Oracle in a Windows environment, which I don't recommend. Most people run on a Linux. It runs better. So, but at any rate, I think that's about it tonight. Let me open it up for questions. If you all have any questions, I'm gonna stop sharing. Let's see. Can we use a Mac or should we stick? Yeah, do a desktop, do a PC. Reason for that is Oracle VirtualBox will run on a Mac, but at the same time, I don't know exactly how Oracle. I have to tell you to update the host file, which I will. I don't know how we update it in the Mac. So it's good that everybody's on a desktop PC so that we can speak to that. Let's see. Hold on. My company just started with Oracle in August. They were using DOS for 32 years. I remember SAP. I remember when I first started with Oracle, and it was a good old days. Some people used to call me up and say, "Hey, Green, we'll give you a $10,000 bonus if you quit and come learn SAP." I decided to stick with Oracle, and I'm glad I did. I think Oracle has more jobs, but SAP was paying very well. I'm not exactly sure what the SAP market is. I can't speak to it, but SAP is another ERP application. But I think Oracle, because of the database, which even though SAP run off Oracle database, I think Oracle applications is more widely used. So we need a desktop or a laptop will work. Right now, I'm running this on a laptop. So yeah, I use a laptop all the time, right? So you should be good. Yeah. All right. Let's see. You'll be doing SQL inside of SQL Developer. So those are tools that you're going to have. And you'll be running that off your desktop. I'm gonna have to show you how to. Once you install that, I'm gonna have to show you how to connect to your. We're gonna do that. I'm actually do it. I'm gonna show you how to connect that to your instance. It's very specific. We got to have the right IP addresses. It has to be running, and we get that done. Now I got 16 gigs of RAM on my desktop. Next time we do this, I'm gonna be on my desktop so I can actually show you the application. And I don't want to run into any issues. I just got a laptop for this class. Do I need to return it? No, laptop will work again. Yeah, laptops will work. Yeah, I do this just so you know. When I first did this instance about 7-8 years ago, I used to carry it around with me. And whenever we were at the client site, and when you first get to the client site, the first 3 or 4 months, you won't even have an instance. So a lot of times they'll be asking questions, and you'll want to go up and see and maybe set it up and test it. Because they'll say, well, can I, what are the options for financial options in AP? You'll be able to bring your own instance up and you'll be able to do it right then. You can run queries, you can do it in the back end. So I always carry my instance with me when I go to the client site just in case, because a lot of times you won't even have access to the back end or you don't have access to the application the first couple of months while you're doing requirement scouting. So when you're doing requirements, it's always good to have your own instance. So this is something that you're going to have and need to keep. All right. And the point is you can use a laptop. Okay. Is there a way you can send the Oracle files by Friday? I leave the country Saturday. Bill, maybe you can talk to Nate and see if you can get Nate. I know we're going to be testing one. I know we're going to be testing something tomorrow. Hopefully you have one undone. We're going to be testing that. Maybe you can go ahead and kick that off to Nate.
I'll be creating them. I'm now. We got 50% right now. 50%
okay. We'll be looking at those tomorrow. Check out the local pawn shop, blah, 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 16 gigs, yeah. Now the hard drive, 200 gigs, like I said, you're not going to be putting that much on there. But if you put Windows on there, Windows eat up a lot. You know, but Windows is not as bad as it was in terms of, not Windows, but Microsoft Word, stuff like that. It's not as bad as it used to be because a lot of that stuff now is up on the internet. So you might be good. It's not as bad as it was. It's more, they do that so they can charge you $99. I remember back in the day you paid $100 and you get everything down on a disc. But now you pay like $69 a year, and most of that stuff is integrated. As soon as you don't pay your fee, your words start working. All right. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Great RAM, $300. But look, honestly, if you go to Amazon, you can find, I'm getting one for like $250 a desktop, you know, so I already know I'm getting that. And I know to run because I'm not going to have anything on it but creating part of Microsoft Word and the tools I need. And that's why it's going to be dedicated, right? I got a Lenovo ThinkPad, 6-foot bit, 8 gig RAM. Yeah, like once again, this is 8. I'm running this off 8. I always run it off 8. So we should be good. I had a problem tonight because I was running a whole lot of stuff. But when you run it, oh, somebody said he can't hear. Can everyone else hear me? Just type in the chat.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. All right. So, all right, at any rate, I was running, you can run it off 8 gigs, but what you have to do is you can't be doing much more. Just make sure you close everything and then go like that, and then you should be good. I was running a whole lot getting ready for this class. I was opening a whole lot of things, and I ran into a problem. But I'm going to validate it and make sure that's nothing serious. And Bill and I are going to be testing the other instances. But once again, I've been doing this for years with this instance. Shouldn't be any problem. I haven't really pushed it like I used to in the most recent 2 or 3 years. But it's the same thing. You just turn it on. But if you see my screen, this is what you have here. Let's see here.
Arthur, you mind if I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Can you mute for a second? Yeah, one thing I want y'all to be mindful of, guys, is that this stuff y'all looking at, this is about close to 700 gigs. So it's just taking an extreme. Just think about that for a second. Imagine if you had to put something that's almost a terabyte on your computer, how long it would take. And we got to create, let's say, I don't know, 25, 30 of them, you know. So just give it time. We own it. I've already looked into it. I got some software that's working. I'm creating an image. I created one over last night and it was messed up. So I had to start over this morning. But if this other software is moving pretty fast, so it should be done. Today is Tuesday. As soon as I get them, I'm hitting y'all with them as soon as I can. If you in Atlanta, we'll meet. I'll get it to you in person. Obviously, that'll be the easiest way instead of mailing it to you. But if you in another city, I'll go ahead and put it in the mail. Try to get it to you as soon as possible. Also, I need to go to the mail anyway because I got some shirts that I promised some students I hadn't forgot. So I got about 15, 16 shirts I got to mail on. But other than that, I'm gonna get everything to y'all so y'all can be able to get it, man. Don't sweat it. Just at least all I'm saying is give us at least a week. Worst case, no way in the world it should take a week, even if it just takes slow. If we do it real slow, one by one. His computer, for some reason, is a lot faster, and I think it has something to do with the type of flash drive that I have. So that's what's I'm mailing you a flash drive that's gonna have everything that you see right now. See what you're looking at right now is an Oracle VirtualBox. This is actually stored on a flash drive. This is not on the physical computer. And what he was saying is you don't want to install this on your computer because it'll tear it up. Lord knows we don't need to tear no computers up. So what we're gonna do is just mail you a flash drive with about 700 gigs. So it's gonna have two of them. It's gonna have one called Vision. It's gonna have another one called Fresh. Fresh is like just nothing but just the baseline of the software, and Vision has data and files. And it's good he got that open because I was just about to ask him to show us some of that stuff and show us what it looks like. So that's about it, Arthur. Go ahead.
All right, I'm cranking one up now to see if it works. I ran into an issue earlier. It was running, but then I ran into a network and it said it didn't have enough memory. But at any rate, I think that was because of some other things that I was running. But I cranked all of them up and made sure they ran before Bill and I did it this weekend, so they were running. So it's running fine. But at any rate, we're in the process. Another thing too, before we send it all out, we want to make sure that we test it and that it's all working, so that when you get it, we will make sure that it runs. It takes a minute for it to crank up, but nevertheless, all of this right now is running off of the USB drive. You do not want to install this. This is basically this is enterprise Linux operating system. So you have to run a dual operating system if you install it on your own computer. You don't want to do that. That's why. And if you notice in my now, what I've done too is this is another development. So I was working with a client. Just a little bit about this. If you're not familiar with Oracle Virtual Machine, and I'm going to be showing you how to manage this, because you're going to need to manage this to keep up with everything. And I'll show you that, how to take snapshots so that if anything goes wrong, you can go back. You definitely need to be able to do that. But at any rate, I have some clients, and if you're not familiar with this, something you might want to do so that you don't need to actually go and install or buy a new laptop. Sometimes you work for a client and the client's going to have you install a whole lot. You don't want to have to buy a new laptop. So what you do is you create a virtual environment and then you install everything on the inside of your virtual environment. And then when it's over with, you just blow it away. I got this one, Windows 7. Now, the thing about Windows 7 is, it's older than Windows 10, but it's a little bit more stable and don't have all that overhead. So I have several development tools. I crank this up. I got forms. I got all the Oracle stuff installed here. And like I told you, when you install it, it didn't break everything else. So I just went in and installed this somewhere else. And that way, if you do work somewhere and they say, okay, man, you got to put and they don't give you a laptop, and they say, man, you need to install forms, you need to install developer, you need to install all these Oracle tools, even workflow builder. I think I got workflow builder here, but nevertheless, I install it here, crank it up, go into it, and then I connect to the client, just like anything. And it's nice. Plus, you can make backups. Here's another one, client MEC. That was Mid-American, I think. Energy company, yeah, Mid-American. I got a lot of their things in here. But yeah, Windows 10, all that. So you can do this. If you're not familiar with it, you're gonna be very familiar with this after it's over with. Matter of fact, put this on your resume. You know, there are some companies that clone and run this. You can run a company off this. All you got to do, if you got an operating system big enough, you can run multiple environments. You know. So anyway, you see, it's taking a minute to crank up, but it takes the first time you crank it up, and I'll show you how to save it, so you don't have to go all the way like this. You can crank it up when you save the state, but when you get it, it's going to be powered off. It's going to take a few minutes to crank up the first time. Hopefully, it's going to work fine. But I ran into some issues earlier. But once again, next week, while that's coming up, this is talk about next week. Can you grant us access to your previous SQL material so we can wait, so that we can get up to speed on learning SQL? Here's the reason why I'm not going to give you this. I wish I could have showed it to you. Matter of fact, I'll show you next week, and you'll see how detailed. It'll look like gobbledygook. Now, SQL is easy. Matter of fact, the SQL that Bill is showing you, if you're taking this class, I think the SQL that he showed you is more complex. Outer joins, inner joins. I don't get that complex with mine. Mine is not. My SQL queries will be nowhere near as complex as Bill's. It'll be that's easy. But when you look at PL SQL is a programming language, right? It allows you to do much more. Next week I'll show you some of the programs. I think I'm having a problem with my OneDrive, so I just need to make sure I'm logged in. Been a while, but nevertheless, I'll show you that next week, and you'll be able to see the reason why. I mean, I can give you all of it, but it just won't make sense. And like I told you, let me show you here. While you're waiting on that, I got these. Let's see here. Let's go here. I got a thing what I call my bag of tricks or tools and scripts. I'm going to zip all this up. I can see it. And I'm going to try to get you all this. These are just things that I've done over the years that I used at a client site to collect data, things that you're going to find helpful. It was this girl, that girl I told you about back in the day. She gave me a disc, right? And I think I lost the disc. But on that disc, she had a whole lot of scripts that she gave me, and it was cool. So over the years, I started keeping these, some of the queries that you run. Let's see if it's going to come up. I know. Let's see here. Let's see if this is going to work. Some of the queries that you run, oh, there it is. This is just, this is called flex values, right? Every now and then you want to go in and run some scripts, and you need to get some queries. So these are things that I've written at the client site that I said, you know what? I don't want to have to rewrite these. These are helpful scripts that you always like profile options, right? So what you want to do is, okay, that's acting a fool. Let's see here. I'll get this. It works on my other computer. You know, some of the things that I will give you all of this. I'm going to definitely give you all copies of this. Now, if I go in and show you some detailed data fixes that I've done for the client, that it wouldn't make any sense right now. So, but yes, I will give you all of these. You have this inventory scripts, GL reconciliation. That's 11.5. You might be working on AR scripts. These are just accounts receivable scripts for release 11. This is really detailed stuff that you'll need. But don't worry about that. I'll show you that next week. But we don't need to get into all that because I think that's getting too deep. I'm just going to show you a couple of them so you know where we're going to go. Right? Let's see here. I have someone in my study group that would like to have a one-on-one with you regarding the class. What's your best method to contact you? I tell you what, I'm gonna type in my email address. Shoot me an email, and we go from there. That's my personal email. Shoot me an email. Put Oracle EBS class, so I can do a search on it in the subject. I get 1,000 emails a day, so send it, and then or just talk to Bill, and then we go from there. We'll probably get a better contact method on this later on. But yeah, right now, just send me an email, and then we'll hook up and we'll schedule a time, and then we'll talk. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think that's about it. But once again, what we're going to do next week is I'm going to have the apps up. Let's see. Hold on. That's the instance. So you crank it up. This is going to be running. Once it's running, see, go here. Let's see. I think that's a vision. This is vision. Which one is it? Oh, that's vision. Give it a minute. Yeah, I just had it up a second ago. Let's see here. Okay. I don't know what's going on with it right now, but we'll have it up and running. I'll show you it next week, and we'll go from there. This is something that once everybody gets set up, got to make sure that everybody can connect. And you see, I've been doing this 26 years, so it's still sometimes it's finicky. I had it up and running before the class started, so and it's pinging. We'll deal with it later. Okay, hold on for a minute. Like it's gonna do it. Even though it'll say it's running, you still have to wait some time before in the background. And if I log in, let me show you. See it. Under no circumstances should you all go into this and start making changes. But the beauty of it is, I'm going to show you how to do snapshots. So what a snapshot is, at a certain point in time, what I'm going to have you do, let's say, for example, I say, go in, set up system administrator. And after you do with system administrator, you've given yourself all responsibilities, you've done this, you've done that. I'm going to tell you to take a snapshot. I'm going to recommend that after each time you finish an assignment, take a snapshot. Here's the reason why. If you make a mistake or you do something wrong, you can always go back to the snapshot, right? You can go back to the last time it worked. Let's say it worked last week. And even if for some reason this week it stops working, then what you can do is you say, well, it was working last Thursday. You can go back and it will work. And then you can move forward. So what you probably only done, you only lost a week. So make sure you take snapshots. Make sure you do that on a regular basis. So as we move forward, you don't want to lose 6 months of work because you didn't take a snapshot. And trust me, Oracle is finicky. That's why DBAs make $200 an hour to keep these things running. I could have showed you, I actually had a job where I was actually a DBA. I wouldn't claim to be a DBA. When I installed this, I was working as a DBA at Maxwell, Gunner Air Force Base here. And I wouldn't claim to be a DBA at all. That's a whole new, discipline. You know, you can be a database administrator, but I'm not a DBA. But I was a DBA enough to actually install this on the Unix. I knew enough about it. But at any rate, I hardly ever log into the system because I don't have to. all I can do is get to the login prompt. But as you can see, this is a whole actual running environment. The Vision server page is taking a minute to come up. It takes that some time. Just have to be patient with it. But when it does come up, it'll work. I'll show you the application, and then you can go from there. So next time you come in, I have this already up. I'll show you the Vision instance. We'll go through it. I'll open it up. And hopefully the following week, when everybody has their instance, I'm going to go through, and I'm going to tell you, do not do anything until after you see me show you how to do it. Bill got ahead of himself, and I came in and jumped in the middle, and we kind of messed his laptop up. So it is in certain steps that you have to do. Let me see here. I'm going to show you. Let's see why they're thinking about it. TR. Training.Williams instruction. Oh. Oh, there it is. So yeah, these are installation instructions. I'm going to go through this again because I think there's a couple of steps we may not need. So I'm going to take this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my my new website. This is from my old. You can tell the way it looks. It's old. I'm going to put this on my new website, and talks about creating a snapshot of all of this. And there's some other things too that in case we probably run into some issues, and we go from there. Yeah, this page is supposed to come up, but it's taking a minute, so we're not gonna worry about this right now. I think it has something to do with my memory and stuff, but at any rate, we'll see. So I guess that's it. Let's see here. And the next meeting is Sub-Zero on Wednesday. Okay, yeah, Bill. Yeah, next Thursday, 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central. So yeah, we'll be meeting, and then I'll be running this on my other machine, and we'll go from there. And but I guess that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Actually, sir, I had a question.
Yes, sir.
You may have already covered this, but as far as me getting you and Bill my address.
Okay, Bill, do you have everybody's address that's signed up so you can ship everything to them?
Yeah, guys. So go ahead and just email me at bg@ltvacademy.com. Your email. I can kind of go through manually when they done. Right now, I'm just focused on trying to get them ready first. But once they ready, LTV I'm putting it in there now. So you guys should be able to email me. And so just email me your email, and now I'll go ahead and log in and get everything ready. Right now, I'm focused on trying to make sure everything's working right now. But once they start working, everything's working, I go ahead and send them off to y'all. So I have to create a copy of it right now. That copy is what messed up earlier today. But this other one's pretty much almost gonna be done. And once that one's done, then I can make copies of it. But it'll be just like what they call a clone. So I had to create a clone copy and then make copies to send off with each one of these. I bought all of the flash drives last week. So I got them. I just got to send them off. So they'll be sent. Just give me some time. Sorry about the inconvenience. But so some of y'all might get them earlier. But like I said, if you are in the Atlanta area and give me, it's still going to take at least a few more days. We're looking at probably at least it's probably not going to be ready to probably Thursday, worst case. I'm assuming Thursday at the earliest. And then I can go ahead and the first one I'm going to do, what's his face said he about to leave the country. So wherever you go, man, I mail it to you. It don't make a difference. You going somewhere. You ain't going to space. So wherever you at, I'm going to get it to you. You know what I'm saying? If I had to mail it out the country, we just mail it out the country. But you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have an address somewhere. So wherever you at, worst case, you'll get it. Hopefully they got next day air wherever you go, unless you're going to like, you know, I don't know, Ethiopia or something. That's different.
The only reason I say that is because I was working with a company I'm working with now. They sent me a laptop and I never got the thing because they just, I don't know, man, sending stuff out of the country, it just.
Where you going?
I'm going to Colombia.
I don't know about Colombia. Yeah. I'm going to try to hurry up and get it. When you leaving Friday?
I leave Saturday morning, so I was like, that's why I was asking.
Okay,
hopefully I can get it by Friday, yeah.
Well, yeah, you be my first one priority. I'll probably get to yours first. I'm gonna try to. So right now we making them. It's Tuesday. We got plenty of time, so it's working. It's slow, but it's working. Now that I got my computer on and I'm doing stuff, it slows down. So, but as soon as I get off here, plus I messed this computer up, I had to get another one. So I'm getting that one up to speed. But yeah, I'm gonna get it to you, man. I get it to you. I was gonna put it up where you can download it, but that would have been horrible. So it's best just to put it on the flash drive because then y'all will be breaking your computers, and we don't need y'all stuff breaking because it's just gonna slow us down. Go ahead, Al.
Appreciate it.
All right, Nate.
One more time, what was that email?
It's in the chat, bg@ltvacademy.com. Hold on, I'll get it to you. Don't say. There you go. That's it.
All right, as you all can see, the application came up. This is the login screen. We'll be going through all of this. Once you all get your own instance, we'll get to this point. It's moving slow. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's see here. So what you see is this is basically being served just like a website. You connect to the IP address. I'll give you the IP address, and then let's see. Hold on, if I can move this. Let's see. 1 second. Hold on, let's see if I can move. Well, hold on. Let me share my share. So you see it. This is Oracle applications right here. This is basically all of this is running off of. Let's see here. All this is running off of this. So once you crank this up and get this running, all you have to do is go in, type in the URL, right? Log in. This is as you can see, this is called the the Vision instance. In the Vision instance, it has a whole. This is basically it's already set up. It's a fictitious company that already has data in it, and we'll be using this for basically referral or example. We'll refer to it. I'm going to show you which. There's a company called, what they do is they have a different division. Basically, it's a company called Vision Manufacturing. They have companies, and once again, it's a fictitious company. They have operations all over the world. We're going to probably just be working out of the U.S. company. So I have you go in. As soon as I set myself up, I say, go in, set yourself up, and give you all of these responsibilities. So when I tell you about setting up a chart of accounts, and you're trying to do it the first time, just go in. If you're not sure, go in, look at your Vision instance, see how they done it over there. Then you can go in and do it in your fresh instance. That's what I used to do. And a lot of times when I want to do some transactions, I would go into the Vision company and just do them in the Vision. Once you understand the account structure, it's easy to do some sample invoices and stuff in the Vision company. But this is the vision. And once again, it's already set up. And this is an example. This right here, once you crank this up, this basically just runs in the background. You would not do anything in here. Matter of fact, you don't even need to get to this page. But everything is going to be done inside the application. And this is the Oracle application. And it may seem simple, but just navigating is we're gonna have to talk about how to query, how to enter stuff, how to do all of that. So first thing we're gonna do, we get in, we're gonna talk about basic navigation. The help, sysadmin, the basic function. The first thing you're gonna do is set up a system administrator, because you're gonna need to go in and create yourself as a user. Right? You're going to need to give yourself some responsibilities. What is a responsibility? I'm going to tell you what a responsibility is so that you all can go in and know what the pieces of responsibility are. You may have to go in and you're going to have to set up some sample responsibilities. So you're going to have to go in and do this. And you're going to need to know all of this. I'm going to have you go in and set up custom menus, all of this. So this is going to be something that you're going to do. And this is the sysadmin function. So this is important, it's imperative in any setup. Before you get to general ledger, you're gonna have to go to sysadmin first. So, but anyway, this is the application. You see it's running on my laptop. I got 8 gigs around. Let me see, hold on for a minute. Let's see here. If I can see. Hold on for a second. Show you what I'm running. Let's see here. I didn't get to the computer. Oh, no. Trying to see if I can show you what I'm running here. Let's see here. Bill, when you go in and see the computer, the system, what you're running? Hold on for a minute.
What?
I'm trying to get to that computer screen. Something's, hold on, it's active. Let's see, hold on for a minute. So I can right click on the computer, show them what I'm running.
Oh, you mean you press Control Alt Delete the task manager?
No, not the task manager. Go here for the task manager. No, not that. I just want to show them how much gigs, how much memory I got, so they can get an understanding on it, what they're gonna need. I got dual monitors. For some reason, I can't get to the computer over here, that computer icon. Let's see, I show desktop. Right, where's the computer? Do I have a computer over here? I usually have a computer sitting over here where I can just right click on it. All right, well.
You can go to your system tray and just type in about.
There you go. See, I knew somebody knew it. I knew we had a Windows guy here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there you go. I usually have a computer on the top of my desk. Yeah, here we go. All right. Well, actually, I got 12 gigs. Okay. I got 12 gigs, Windows 10. I think I got 2 terabytes on the hard drive. Right. So I got 12. Is the, let's see, task manager. Now, when you crank this up, it's going to, when you crank it up, if you look at it, see, it's using 4 gigs up here like this. See, 8 gigs. Now, here's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to shut it down. I'll go here. File. Close. I'm going to power it off. All right, see? So that's why you got to make sure you got enough. This was running, you see, I went from 5.8 I went from 8 to 5.8. So it's going to eat memory up. And that's why you need to make sure you have enough memory. Now, I was running some other stuff in the background early before the class. I had the app up, but because a lot of times you have you call memory leak. You all know about that. You running, especially if you're running Firefox and you had that up all day, it's just gonna leak memory. So that's a memory hog. So what you might want to do before you run it is just shut everything down. Now, I got 12 gigs on mine. 8 gigs should be enough, but you can't be running a whole lot, and you're going to be right on the edge. So if you start opening up like Windows, I know Windows is a hog, but we're going to be using things that are going to be light on the memory, so you should be okay, right? Like I said, let me just, if I crank it back up again, I don't want to take all that time. It take too long, and you see how the memory goes up. So, but at any rate, this is run. I thought I was running 8. I'm running 12. So, but I run it on, and I've had plenty of PCs, so I run it on 8 gigs, and it hadn't been a problem, But like I said, you just need to make sure, I think for the investment, and I can't speak to everyone. I know you all are paying about $300 a month. I think it would be worth just to make sure, and I'll send you a link. Hopefully, what I'll do is I'm gonna show you what I'm getting ready to buy and what's out there, what's available. What you can get. I know you can get 16 gigs, 2 terabytes on the hard drive, Intel processor, and it should run fine. But this is what I'm running, and you saw in terms of the hard drive. Let's see here. Oh, I got 2 screens too. You're going to probably need to have another screen, and you don't need to, because a lot of times you're going to have something open up over here. You're going to be looking at a document over here, and you're going to be having the screen over the other one. So as you go down and look at the setup screen, setup dock, you want to have the setup dock over here, and maybe the app open somewhere else. It said, does YouTube and Facebook? Like I said, I think Firefox and Chrome. If you open up Firefox, for example, let's see here, right? I'm just open up Firefox, and then you go in and look at Task Manager. You'll see that it has a lot running in the background that you don't even know about. So I would recommend closing those. Let's see, See, that's just 2. But if I go in and open up, see, I just open up a tab. It's almost every tab. It's every tab. Plus, if you got a lot of add-ons and extensions, those things is basically. And then when I'm working, I like to look at. I have movies running all the time. So and movies. If you like me, I got movies. So you seeing how it's just. The more you have running in the background, and if you leave them open, there is a lot of memory leak, all of that. So what I like to do is I like to close all my Firefox, and I only had 2 tabs open, right? So generally you have this. I got Task Manager. You have a notepad open, Internet Explorer, and probably GoToMeeting. And you should, But anyway, that's that. That's what I'm running. You see how the memory went up. As soon as I cut it down, it went. So everything eats up your memory. But when you run into class, you need to make sure you're not running a whole lot. And you good, it's because you're going to see it. It's going to eat up your memory. And if you got a problem before, just go do Task Manager. Click on Task Manager, then go in and look at your memory, and you can see once you crank it up. Now, I got 2. Now, the other day on my other computer, now I got 16 gigs, right? So what I was doing is I had both of them running at the same time, and I still had plenty of memory left. So if you got 16 or 20 gigs of RAM of 24 gigs, you can run both at the same time. It won't even be a problem. So I think they're eating about 3 to 4 gigs each, right? So, but as far as space on your hard drive, you're not going to be taking a lot of hard drive space. And that's the reason why I did it like this, right? So all you need is this virtual machine, and it's going to be running off of a USB drive. Then you're good. And we're going to talk about the different instances. You're going to be setting up the fresh instance from scratch. That's going to be the ones you're going to be working in. So you're going to come in, you're going to have absolutely nothing. All you're going to have is system administrator, and that's going to be it. No company name, nothing, right? We'll go through vision and we'll talk about it. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to come up and say, okay, here's your chart of accounts. I'm going to have to give you some values for your flex field chart of accounts. And as we go along, we may have to add values. So we may be going back and forth. We'll talk about this. This is going to be great. And hopefully, as we go along and as the requirements come up, we're going to have to jump back and forth between the modules. That's the beauty of it. You may be doing general ledger in October, you'll be setting up GL, but it could be March. And you're still going to be going to GL for posting, for journals, everything, interfaces. All the modules are going to be integrated, and you're going to have a very good understanding of all of this. If I just taught you in a lecture class and I just talk to you, there's a lot of them out there that are going to just talk to you and tell you about stuff. But hardly none of them, with the exception of like maybe Oracle in-class training. I think they do on class. They charge $5,000 per module. So if you're doing GL, it's $5,000. You're doing accounts receivable, another $5,000. They may have gone down. It could be $3,000 now. I'll go and look and see. But you're actually going to get hands-on. You're going to get lab, and you're going to do this. Plus, you're going to have me talking to you. So that's another thing, right? Other than just, hey, do online self-study. So I think this class is pretty good. I'm looking forward to teaching it. As we go along, each iteration is going to get better. I'm going to add more stuff to it. So this is going to be good. But anyway, I think that might conclude it. 2 hours went by pretty good. I appreciate you all. Let's see here. Stop sharing. Okay. All right. Okay. So I guess if you got any more questions, go ahead and shoot them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll give you about 2 to 3 minutes and shoot them in the chat. It's about 10:30 now. So we're going to try to keep them down under 2 hours. Sometime we may go over, but, I'm just trying to get you what you need. Besides, 2 hours will go by quick. It's going to be filled with a whole lot of information. I recommend, and I would recommend, is going back and look at some of the videos. That's why we only do it 2 days, because most of this, nope, you don't need an Oracle certification. I don't have any. Some of the best consultants I've ever seen been English majors, and they don't have any. You don't need a certification. Once you get your first one, that's why on your resume, you're going to have about 6 months experience already, right? You're not going to be somebody that just don't know anything about Oracle, or somebody that took Oracle at your university. Some universities do teach Oracle, but you actually, this is going to be a good education. You might look at it like a semester or maybe 2 semesters at college somewhere. So this is going to be real good. You're going to learn accounting concepts. Some of y'all have never done accounting before. You're going to learn accounting concepts, debits and credit. After all, this is an accounting system. It's not just about queries and all that. I like to get into that because I'm a geek. It's the fun part. But in the end, people are going to be running businesses off of this. Freaking Delta, CSX, Motorola, Fortune 50 companies use this. And they make billion-dollar, trillion-dollar decisions every day off of what comes out of Oracle. It's amazing. You go into a company and you sitting there with the CEO of CSX, and he asking you some serious questions about how they're going to run their business. They say, okay, Green, and I've been in some rooms, the only black guy in the room. And, okay, Green, go up to the board. Well, Genicom, it didn't go too bad. But since then, I've been in the room, the only black guy. It's a good feeling. And you actually telling CSX, and if you're familiar with CSX, the train company, or Motorola, Metro PCS. The thing I did for Metro PCS, I'm going to tell you about that. That was slick. I'll tell you about it later. But Metro PCS, when I first got in that company of Metro PCS, and I'm going to be quick, it was this black lady. She couldn't stand me. She hated my guts. I did the interview, about 10 people in the room. She recommended they didn't hire me. But after it was over with, after about a month, she came in. She said, "Green, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was the only one that told everybody not to hire you, but I'm glad they overridden me because she was a hard one too, and she was tough. But she said, man, you one of the best consultants I ever met, and you're pretty good, and I'm glad we hired you." I'm telling you another thing. I met very few black people in Oracle that actually is a consultant, but everyone I met, every black person I met has been extremely sharp. You have to, and I don't know, maybe some white people here, and that's cool. But I'm speaking from as an African American. You don't have the luxury of saying I don't know, or you need to know what you're talking about. That's why I'm going to make sure that you know a lot. So when you walk out there, you're not going to be totally ignorant. You're going to be able to speak to it. So for entry level jobs, you're going to be better than most. So don't look down and say, oh, I don't know this. No, you should walk in that room holding your head up. You know, I graduated from Alabama State. You know, but I've been in a room with Harvard graduates and been confounded. You know, telling them what to do. So you look, trust me. Once you know what you know, you have a lot of confidence and you'll be able to do it. And another thing too, one thing about being a consultant, you can't be unsure of yourself. If you're unsure of yourself, then they'll sniff it. They smell fear, and then you're gone. It's just the way it is. You can't get mad. Learn from it and do better. Like I said, when I first started, I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't have anybody to tell me. I just had to learn the hard way. One more other quick story, and then this is going to be it. I actually wasn't paying attention. And I went, they told me, say, okay, Green, you're going to go to Pittsburgh. I had a lot of my friends from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So when I heard Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I was saying, man, I'm going to Philly. I ended up on a Monday morning. I'm in Philadelphia when I was supposed to be in Pittsburgh. I actually found a company that had a similar name. I showed up at the door, see, I'm William Green. They're like, William who? I see, I'm here for the project. I called my manager. She said, man, you're in the wrong city. Don't make that mistake. But anyway, that's it for tonight. So I appreciate everybody, and thank you for your time. And Bill, you got anything to add?
No, just usually on Wednesday, I'm going to be here. We'll probably start after once you guys start getting your flash drives, I'm going to stay after class to try to help, or not after class, like on the off days, like let's say Wednesday, I'll probably help y'all, on like a Saturday or something. Wednesdays and Saturdays, I help y'all to try to make sure everybody up to speed. Just the first couple of weeks to make sure everybody's got their software running smoothly, so that I can make the transition easy for William. Next class is gonna be Wednesday Wednesday at 8:30 Central Time, which is 9:30 Eastern. But I'll be here. Ain't no need in being in here tomorrow because ain't nobody got their stuff, and I'm trying to get it all set up. But once we test it, make sure everything good. I don't want to just force y'all to send y'all something. I want to send y'all something that's really gonna work for y'all. So once y'all get it, everything good, we ready to go. So that's it. Y'all have a good one.